Hey everybody, welcome to Hopcast.
Thanks for joining us once again.
I'm Brad Chmielewski.
My name is Ken Hunnemeder.
And look at the beers, look so cute.
Look at these little beers. So we're going to exclusively Belgian beers today, and off to Belgium we go. We're doing a Struise brewery, which is a kind of a smaller craft style brewery in Belgium. We've featured them before on the show. They have a really lovely imperial stout called Black Albert.
Yeah, we did that way back in like 08.
We grabbed a bottle of that and featured it on the show.
Go back and check that out.
So basically today we have their Cuvée Delphine, which is Black Albert, aged in bourbon barrels. And then we have their Mocha Bomb, which is part of their Black Damnation series, in which they're trying to use Black Albert in 12 different beers by blending or whatever they choose to do with them.
So we have Black Albert, what was it, mixed with or aged on whole coffee beans.
Yep.
Then mixed with this beer.
50%, let's see, 50% Black Albert, just straight away. 25% Black Albert aged in a bourbon barrel. And by the way, the 50% of that Black Albert used in this was aged on the whole bean coffee.
Okay.
And then 25% of a different beer that I can't even really read or pronounce.
Okay.
That was also aged in bourbon barrels.
So we should probably start with this so we know what that tastes like.
We'll go with the base.
Going into there.
Straight up Black Albert aged in bourbon barrels.
Yeah, and it's interesting, on the side they have the ingredients for the Mocha Bomb: water, hops, sugar. But they don't mention the coffee beans as an ingredient, which is sort of because it was used in it.
Maybe that's what they're referring to as a dark twist of the mind. Water, barley, hops, sugar, yeast, and a dark twist of the mind. 12% alcohol.
Because it says water, barley, hops, sugar, and yeast. So.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's dive into the Cuvée Delphine.
So when you poured that out, it just filled the room with aroma.
Yeah, you don't even have to bring it up here to smell it. pretty much. It smells fantastic. I mean, you get that Belgian yeast character, quite oaky. You get a little bit of bourbon.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like a lot of carbonation, lots of little bubbles right on that head. Yeah,
as we were pouring it out, you could see the beer like kind of fighting its way through those big effervescent bubbles on the head, which is really kind of pretty to watch. And as you swirl it, you can get a little bit of that same effect. Pretty thick beer. So, cheers.
Whew. Yeah, that's
okay.
So it's a 13% beer. Tastes like it. Yeah.
It's actually a lot thinner in the mouthfeel than I thought it would be. You know, a lot of times you get these big thick stouts. There's a lot of residual sugar left over. This one's actually quite dry, and I think that has helped them achieve that 13% alcohol by volume.
Yeah, but it has a burn.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice though. It's like a nice woody, oaky
very
burn.
Very oaky, for sure. So it's picked up a lot of that barrel, but I don't know. It depending on when they got the barrel and how wet it was from the bourbon. I'm not getting a ton of bourbon flavor. No. It's more wood flavor than bourbon.
It's probably a pretty good chance to say they're probably pretty dry barrels then, because
I would think so. Either that, well, I was gonna say
Black Albert isn't it around like 10 or at least 12%?
I think it's 12.
So
which
1% from the barrel, that's pretty Like usually you pick up about 2 or 3 sometimes, right? From a wet one.
One is a pretty good amount. Two is a lot.
Okay.
So, yeah. Because Black Albert is, I assume it's 12%. Because it's 12%, and this is 13, with that extra 1% just coming from bourbon, I kind of would expected a little bit more bourbon flavor.
Yeah.
But again, you're just getting kind of straight barrel and oak. It's interesting. It's to say the least.
I don't remember what Black Albert tasted like after.
Oh, it's been since 2008 for sure.
3 years now. So.
I remember being very impressed with it. I couldn't give you a detailed description by any means.
It's nice. It does have a bit of that like raspberry cherry.
Yeah. A little fruitiness. It's actually quite bitter as well. Up front. There's like a touch of astringency. So, but good beer, for sure.
Okay. I believe you had to order this from the brewery and they sent it to you. I don't think you could find it here. So it was a special release from them. So I don't know if they're still doing that. I think it was kind of like a limited run. So.
Well, I'm sure our brothers at Pipeworks have an in.
Yeah, they're pretty good friends with them.
Yeah, we have a new brewery here in Chicago, kind of a nano startup brewery that's still getting their feet underneath them, starting out as doing just a lot of home brewing, but they're working on getting their own space now and equipment and all that stuff. And they got a lot of their experience by going over to Belgium and hanging out with the Struise guys, and actually made a beer with them. So. Yeah, good things coming up on the horizon in Chicago as always.
Definitely,
there's always new breweries popping up, and it's been a pretty exciting time.
And the Struise guys, they seem to collaborate a lot.
They do, yeah. And I may have told this story when we did this brewery in 2008.
Tell it again.
But I found out this little tidbit by listening to the Brewing Network. Shut up! They had Urbane on, who is one of the brewers, one of the Struise brothers, and he was talking about in Belgium when they go on like long fishing trips, and it's really cold outside and that kind of thing. And in the morning, what you do to kind of like beef up and get your breakfast in and your protein and all that stuff, they will actually take a stout, so in their case probably Black Albert, and mix a whole raw egg in it.
Okay.
It may have been just the yolk, but I thought it was just a whole egg. And they just whipped it around, and a little bit of sugar. They drink that, and then they're ready to go for the whole day. So I tried it. I was like, yeah.
You did it in the morning?
No, I did not do it in the morning. I did not do it in the morning. I hadn't had any fishing trips planned, but tried about 5 o'clock, maybe when I got off work. It was pretty tasty. It's pretty tasty. So maybe something you guys might want to try.
Yeah, never done. Like, there's a lot of recipes that are like protein drinks with raw eggs, and I don't know. Never done that.
You might want to try. Just take kind of like a standard stout. I believe I used the Kalamazoo Stout from Bell's and just whip that up. I wouldn't do it with a Black Albert because over here, I mean, to them it's a dime a dozen. Over here, it's kind of like coveted like gold.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, try that out if you're interested. A little bit of like tablespoon sugar, egg, pint of stout, and you're good to go. And then you can catch walleye or something. But yeah, let's finish these up, and we'll try the Mocha Bomb and see what kind of differentiation we get from the two.
Sounds good. All right, so we got a little more coffee coming up here.
Hopefully so.
Hope so.
You're kind of scaring me that this is aged on whole bean, and you don't really think that the coffee's going to come through.
Right. I feel like it's the bean. It's encased in there.
Gotta crack it open.
You gotta crack open that bean to get any.
Just like grain.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's.
We'll see. I don't.
Let's check it out.
Maybe the beer kind of ate away at it a little bit if it was aged on it. Maybe
for long enough. Maybe. All right. Well, I know a way where we can figure it out.
Drink it.
Let's drink it.
So that poured out pretty much the same as the other beer.
Very much the same pour.
A lot of carbonation.
Yep. That cascading beer through the effervescent head. All the stuff that we covered before.
Blah, blah, blah.
So, what are we smelling?
Yada, yada, yada. And then I drink the beer. It does have a coffee scent. Yeah.
What it reminds me of is all those times when I'm lazy, when I'm homebrewing and I want to make a coffee beer, and all I do is just like, I throw coffee in it. As opposed to like making a coffee or an espresso or a cold brewed coffee or something like that and adding it to it. And to me, I've always been disappointed when I ever do this because it almost smells like ants. I don't know why.
I don't know if I've smelled ants before.
This beer, it smells much less than the beers that I've made. But whenever I made a coffee beer, it smells like ants, and I can't stand it. So
can't stand the ants.
Can't stand it. But it's reminding me a little bit of that.
Yeah, I feel like it smells like if you happen to be at your grandparents' house and you're like want to make a good cup of coffee, you're like, what are you using in and you like empty out their coffee thing and they have like old Folgers in there from maybe like a couple days ago. It's like, what's this crap? Like just has like that old coffee kind of smell.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Okay. Now that we've smelled ants and old coffee.
Appetizing, right?
It tastes a lot like the other beer.
Except it just has that added
ant.
I mean, because you can taste the coffee. I just don't know that if that it was executed quite right.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like it says it's whole bean Columbian coffee. Right? Yeah. Which that doesn't make any sense to me. Why wouldn't you break it open?
The thing is, I could see how this beer would be excellent, like with coffee. I just don't know that it was, introduced to the beer in the most optimum way.
Yeah.
They did it the way I would do it.
But you're not throwing the whole, you're at least grinding it.
I did grind it up. Right. But I just kind of threw it in there. Mm-hmm. Some of the more experienced or better homebrewers I know do make, different methods.
Mm-hmm. Like I've made ice cream before and used some whole beans in there with some grounds, and it turns out better when you have the grinds, but when you're making ice cream, sometimes you don't want the grinds to mix in with the ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just kind of getting that little coffee essence, maybe. It doesn't have that coffee flavor.
Right. I mean, especially in the past, I'd say year or two, there's been a number of different coffee beers that have hit the market that are just like outstanding.
Yeah, Big Hugs from Half Acre, Goose Island's Coffee Stout.
And I'd put Surly Coffee Bender up there.
Yeah.
It just kind of hits you with really fresh notes of coffee. And I'm just not getting it from this,
I'm getting the stout.
Could be an age issue as well.
We don't know how long I've had this.
Because coffee does fall out. Especially with Bourbon County, that beer is aged already before it's even packaged. So I always tell people, go ahead and if it's the coffee variation or or what have you, the flavor variations. I prefer them fresh, just because that's where, you know, you bought it because it's vanilla, or it's coffee, or it's whatever.
Right. So maybe I've had this for too long. I don't know where I got it from or when I got it. It's like, oh, I had this and I had this. Let's do those together.
It's one of those beers you just
Somehow
put in the fridge.
Yeah. So maybe it did have a nice coffee flavor.
Perhaps.
Fresh out.
But.
So if you have one, drink it.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't think it's getting any better just sitting there.
I wouldn't think so. That just.
It's not the Mocha Bomb. Right?
Yeah, that was the one thing. I didn't really get too much like chocolate flavor. I was expecting a little bit more chocolatey flavor with the name like Mocha Bomb. Yeah. Good beer, just not really what I was expecting. You know.
I think I'd probably take the Black Albert, like straight up.
Straight up, yeah. I remember enjoying that one much more.
Before start messing with it a little bit.
Yep.
It's neat to see what they do and try with them.
Yeah, I'm all for experimentation, and that's great. So, and I love the Struise. I think they make fantastic beers.
Yeah, the Penapot.
So, oh man, if you get Penapot, which is like kind of a dark Belgian beer that they make, and the Penapot Reserva. Oh, now you're living. Get that stuff. So, check them out if you haven't seen them before, and if you can get your hands on them, feel lucky. So,
cheers and thanks for watching.
Cheers.